Hello, everybody. Today we are showing featured entries from the September Art Dare, and we are also announcing the November Art Dare. Welcome to Art Prof. This is our 24/7 global community of artists. The September Art Dare was to create artwork with post-it notes in whatever manner you liked. So the first artist we're going to take a look at is Samreen Kang. And Samreen talks about how this piece is about a realistic young girl's face going into an aged woman fades into the background. And so the theme of this piece is really about the present and the future all intertwined. So here we have some work in progress shots, which we love to see. And by the way, this is from our free reference photo collection. So I love seeing how people are using our resources. And what's it like for you, Dorian, to see the behind the scenes? Oh, you're muted.
I've said it once. I've said it once. I've said it twice. I've said it 100 times. Process is everything, especially when it comes to pieces that you want to enter in portfolios. But I think that this is really amazing to just see the start of it and also kind of dig into the brain, because reading it is one thing, but seeing it actually put into action, all of the parts of the process is totally other.
And I love the addition of the color, the fact that it's blue post-it notes, and then we also have the blue thread on the right-hand side, but then also the pencil work is so light and ethereal, and so you're really combining two very different styles, like the graphic quality of the post-it notes. And how about the pencil technique? What do you think of that?
Yeah, I love that there's not really any harsh lines. The stroke is pretty consistent. I love the way that there's just a flow naturally. All of the structure of the face seems like they've actually taken the time to study it and actually get the shadows in the right spots, which is, I think, something that I still struggle with.
By the way, tell us in the chat, how has your morning been? Has it been hurried and abrupt, or has it been nice and chill? Mine was pretty chill. I actually didn't have to take my kid to school today. So tell us in the chat or just say hi. We love to hear from all of you. Okay, the next artist is Neil. And Neil says that this art dare was an excuse to try something different and decided to make a post-it dress. So this is right up your alley, Dorian. We've got some of the pre-cut patterns, and then this is a work in progress. What's your take?
I'm loving it. The best way to do concept pieces and to also just strategize for large pieces, work on a smaller scale. So I actually made a cool skirt for Mia that looks kind of similar to this, Neil. So I'm really enjoying it.
I mean, I can't wrap my head around the patterns at all. Like, how does this turn into this? And the fact that everything is so considered, like the volume in the upper part of the dress. And look at what happens here. Isn't this amazing?
That is so beautiful. Wow. How big are those flowers, do you think, Clara?
I don't know. We'd have to ask Neil. So, Neil, if you want to tell us about how tall this is. But I'm pretty sure all the pink is post-it. So I think Neil must have bought light pink post-its and magenta ones. Like, isn't that so funny, the way he used the inherent color of the material?
It's a beautiful use of something that is so fragile as well. Like, dresses are also very, not frail. What's the word I'm looking for? I guess
delicate.
Perfect. Exactly. Dresses are very delicate. And I think that the way that you approached it with doing flowers on top of it, as well as with such a delicate material and post-it notes, this is amazing. Give me
Butter
ideas.
Says, love seeing the work in progress for both. I mean, I think there's a reason why we all love behind the scenes. Okay. Next artist is Nancy. And Nancy says that she used some of her coffee-stained post-its to do a sample in her art journal. And so there's a lot of different material in here, carved stamps, markers, micron, Posca paint markers, and the inspiration is from her granddaughter's new guitar. So there's actually two pieces here. This is the piece with the guitar. What's your take?
Also, having a handwritten element in this, I think it feels more intimate, and it feels like it's the granddaughter's guitar, correct?
Yes.
So yeah, like I feel like this would be something that could be easily passed down to her, as well as just like a beautiful like note to hold on to, like a keepsake. But this is a really great job, and I love the use of layering.
And how cool that it's a coffee stained post-it note, because most of us would be like, this is a waste. And taking something that was a mistake and then recycling it into an artwork is just so brilliant. Those mistakes actually can take us places. I also have to say, Nancy, beautiful marker work, especially down here. It's the more muted areas, but those also let some of the brighter colors, like in the guitar, pop a little bit more. So, what do you think about the plant?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because the plant falls to the back a little bit more, but it's still very prevalent. I like the use of, or actually, is that plant vase a coffee mug?
I don't know. It could be.
Kind of looks like one to me right now that I'm looking at it, which would make it even cooler because of the coffee stain.
And by the way, tell us in the chat, how many of you guys here used post-it notes? Because I have them all over my desk. Do you use post-its?
Yes, but actually, for the first time, I don't have any in my vicinity, which is crazy.
I mean, if they remove post-it notes from the planet, I would be really screwed.
Oh yeah, we're all lost.
Here's a close-up of Nancy's other piece, which is mixed media. And what do you think about this?
This is giving me the feeling of a fresco in a crazy way, like the way that it feels like it's almost like chipping and kind of like the crackling that's happening. It feels very natural, almost like it's old rather than it was made recently with, like these materials. I love this though. It's very beautiful, and it gives a very nice antique feel as well.
Gorgeous textures, Nancy. Really nice work. Okay, the next artist is Staticat, and they're talking about how the art dare motivated them to get my paints out. And that's really what the art dares are about, is a means of getting you to try something different. And so Staticat says use post-it notes as masks on a jelly plate. And so the post-its are masks, picked up the green acrylic from the plate in a collage. So this is actually a printmaking project. Have you used jelly plates before?
I still need to. So if we can get this to happen soon, Clara, I am very, very
happy. I have so many. Well, so I think this is such an inventive way to use the post-its, because you've got the framing of the grid. What's your take on the format?
It's almost it wouldn't be a diptych, but it's giving me like this idea of almost a collage that wants to be there, and it feels like it's the forest to me. Like it feels like it looks like those are like leaves, and I think that the green and the way that it has like the veins of the leaves, it just, I don't know, it feels like I'm looking at nature kind of build itself into a collage.
There's an organic quality to the lines. They're very fluid and they sort of move throughout the grid, but then also that slight texture of the green is very important, because I think it lets the piece breathe a little bit more. Like if that was flat green, I think it would not look so great. So I love just the combination of textures, and you said even the blue on the border is so beautiful. It's such a nice compliment to the green.
Also, I think George in the chat has a really great comment saying looks a bit like looking through a window frame. Because yeah, it definitely does. It looks like a nice shot outside of an office window.
By the way, George has a good story. The office Joker once covered every surface of a boss's office with post-it notes.
Oh
Took
my
him an hour
goodness.
to take them all down. Oh man, that is rough. That's a really good post-it story.
I had a roommate
Here,
that once tried to wrap a whole room in nothing but gift wrap. So, yeah.
gift wrap. Oh my gosh. So here we have a couple close-ups, and you can see better the interaction between the white and green and the beautiful layering. Butter also says, currently obsessed with my jelly plate. Got it off the free list. Didn't anticipate using it so much. Yeah, tell us in the chat, how many of you guys here, number one, have you heard of a jelly plate? And number two, have you used it or want to? And yes, of course, we have tutorials on jelly plates. So just look it up on YouTube or our website. Okay, the next artist is Lisa Protzman. And, oh, whoops. I think this is the wrong artist statement. Sorry, you guys. I'll have to track that down later. This is from Staticat. Okay, this is frazzled Clara brain not functioning. So anyway, let me see if I can pull up her artist statement. And Dorian, while I do that, how about you let us know what you think?
Yeah, so this piece in general, I do get a very David Bowie vibe, I think. Makes me think of that one album. If you know what album I'm talking about in the chat, please type it, because I am very bad with names of music, albums, and titles. But I really like the way that it's sitting on the forefront and you have the checkered background with the post-its. I just really like the composition and the use of colors. That yellow also has a really nice pop, and I think it's a really cool highlight effect, because I can't also tell certain parts of like where the lighting is actually hitting.
I just love looking at this detail, because look at how super opaque and defined the shape is. But then down here, this is all very washy. And then up here, I love seeing that yellow covering over the brown. And so you did a really excellent job, Lisa, of getting diversity in the opacity and transparency of the piece. And that's something that I think a lot of people don't tend to think about as much with painting. And then isn't the design so beautiful on the face, those shapes?
Yeah. I'm trying to understand the layering, because if you look right there, you can see the post-it note like stacked on top of that other one slightly. But if you go to the previous slide, you can see on the bottom left, like the shirt looks like it's above it. So it's like there are certain elements that are higher than the others that are giving it that nice foreground, background. Oh, it's trippy.
Well, you know what's fun about some of these entries is some of them make the post-it notes very visible. Like you can tell which aspect is using that with. But this one, I could just say, oh, it looks like a painting to me. Like Lisa really, I think, manipulated the post-it note so it wasn't as visible, but obviously it's a very critical component to that background. Yeah. We also have a follow-up from George about the post-it notes, who says he got his revenge, covered every horizontal surface of the Joker's cubicle with small Dixie cups of water. He had to very carefully empty them one by one. Okay, that is evil. Oh my gosh, wow. I guess if I ever want to get revenge on somebody, that's what I'll do. Okay. The next artist we're going to look at is Lucas. And so Lucas says that the piece is to represent different aspects of people's lives through the lens of a simple childhood object as a rubber duck. And it represents childhood lives, imaginations. And so let's take a look at the rubber duck.
Got the fedora, got the bow tie. I'm actually curious, what do you think that bottom green-ish section is?
The polka dots?
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many rubber ducks out there. I just imagine there's got to be a polka dotted rubber duck somewhere. But I love the accessories. Isn't the football hilarious?
Yes. And I think it has a little knife in the other hand.
Is it a knife? That is hilarious. Although I love the fedora. The fedora is definitely the icing on the cake.
Michael Jackson will be very proud.
Well, if you get to talk about Michael Jackson, I get to talk about Hugh Jackman. So there, it goes both ways.
Okay, that's true. That's true. Imagine Hugh Jackman playing catch with the football then.
I mean, he could read a phone book and I'd be like so totally mesmerized. So, But in this piece, again, the post-its are very visible. Also, like we saw before, Lucas really took advantage of the various inherent colors. But wow, I think it's colored pencil. Isn't that so beautiful? I mean, that's a lot of work to draw like that.
Yeah, definitely. And the shading also shows that you are getting an understanding throughout the piece, because you can see that it looks like each sticky note got more and more intentional with the placement of it and also the way that you shaded it. So you can see some areas look like the shading started off before, and then you can see when it was like, no, this piece is going specifically right.
I also love the overlap, how we have some that are underneath and some that are covering each other. I feel like if you didn't have that overlap, the composition probably would not be as cohesive. And so it's sort of like one post-it leads us to the next, and then everything is interconnected throughout the composition. We have some prizes to give out today. The honorable mention goes to Nancy. Congratulations, Nancy. And the prize winner is Neil. Congratulations to everybody. I'm so proud of our community and all of the wonderful work you all do together. Okay, we've got some Art Prof shares. That's where you create artwork based on our resources. So we actually have 2 people today who finished one of our tracks. And these are a sequence of video lessons and prompts. You can do them at your own pace, and we give you a video feature if you finish. And so Tarkas is self-taught and educated himself on personal projects, independent webcomics. And so he was able to create a main character for his webcomic called World Builders. And so this was a great opportunity for him to do the concept sketches and how all of the personalities are put together. So these are the various lessons. This one's about shape. What do you think?
I love how playful, just playful it is. Pokemon, again, one of the most iconic and amazing animated classics. I think that especially on the top Squirtle cute form, I really enjoy just how it's like it embodies Squirtle still, but it's like so like I just want to like grab it and like hug it. It's like adorable. But you can see the cool way of associating feeling and emotion and expression through specific shapes, like the triangle being more solid, rigid, the circle being more playful, fun. Yeah, really great job.
And I just love seeing all of the ideas in all of these Tarkarias, because oftentimes it's very easy to get sucked into just the look of a character. But an important thing is that we really understand the personality, who they are, what do they do. And so here's a color study. What do you think about these minor changes in the color?
It makes a huge difference. It makes a huge impact. I honestly think that I like that one, the nighttime one. Or no, one before it. Yep, the sunset one the most. I like the orangish hues and the ways that it draws out the skin tone, and especially because I like that about my skin. So it's like I can picture that and resonate with that a little bit more. But overall, yeah, it's really beautiful work.
And now here we have the turnaround. And I just really enjoy looking at how the character evolves, how you are addressing various parts of the character. So here we have the various points of view, and we also have earlier the color studies. So you did a great job. And we don't have lesson 6 because I haven't written it yet. So sorry that lesson is missing. I'll have to get to that at some point. But tell us in the chat, how many of you guys have looked at the tracks? Because you don't have to finish one. I know some people, I just say, just go look at it. Look at the lessons, get some ideas from the prompts, and tell us in the chat if you've never heard of them before. But now you have, which is fantastic. Okay, so the next artist worked on the color track. And so this is from Anna P., hobbyist, no formal art education. And first challenge didn't have paints at all. So Anna used food coloring for the color blending exercise. So this is a complementary color chart exercise. Typically, I suggest that people do it in gouache, but look at what Anna did. Isn't this amazing?
I've never. So the next great baker is recruiting, I'm pretty sure, Anna. So you should definitely apply. I'm just saying.
Wow. Multiples. Like, this is a cat cookie. This is the bread cream. Like, I've done this project for years, and I have never seen somebody do the color charts like this.
Food coloring is such an just to be able to adapt and use food coloring just like that is so impressive. And also the fact that they actually do show like a clean gradient. I want to know how many times there were and how many cookies were gone through first.
So tell us in the chat, have you guys ever seen this before? Color chart as food? Because Anna did a great job with the mixing. I mean, the whole point of this exercise is to understand the nuances between grays, because a lot of us think about gray as, oh, black and white, you just mix them together. But if you look at the way Anna's done the chart, look at all the variations of gray that are in between. And so this is just, wow, this is in the color chart Hall of Fame, Anna. You did an amazing job with that. So we also have prompts where Anna's using a complementary color pair. This is the reference. This is the digital painting that she did. And we also have a painted paper collage where you paint sheets of paper with patterns and then you collage them together. What do you think of this?
They're making me feel like I need to get on my work again, because this is beautiful. Like, this is insane. This almost makes me think of that one. Oh, it's Van Gogh or Picasso. It's the bedroom. Which one is it?
Van Gogh.
The Van Gogh bedroom piece, specifically like the ways that the proportions are and how there are no true like hard lines defining the shapes, but we know exactly what's happening and what exactly everything is. So oh my goodness, this is beautiful. This is sick. I want this.
Also the cats. I guess I do like cats, Anna.
Cats. Whether it's having someone named cat or everyone getting a cat.
So we also have some other animals in here, and this is one about complementary colors. And so we have the orange of the sweet potatoes and we have the blue of the background. Really great exploration, and we can see very directly that gray mixing exercise really coming into play into these other pieces. And now this is one where you choose a movie still and you create a color palette from the movie still. So up above is a screenshot from School for Little Vampires. We have the color palette at the bottom. And then what do you think of this? Love it.
This needs to be hanging up. This is so adorable. And I love that you're capturing. This makes me think that the dog was moving a little bit. But I'd love that it's like, I know that the dog wasn't sitting perfectly still the entire time. So it feels like the dog is still moving and still has a little bit of energy somehow in the photo or the painting. And I can't find a way to verbalize it.
Great texture. I mean, there's texture everywhere except the background in the cloth. You can also see it in the dog, and even the cloth on the right-hand side has these marks that really show that volume. So Butter says, I'm going to do a track this winter. Can't decide which one. Such an amazing resource. Much respect to everyone who completed them. Yeah, because Dorian, it's not easy to do that much work independently.
And especially with as many jobs and as many things as we all have going on. I think it was best said. And I think the artist statement where it's like, this is kind of my like no stakes, like I just want to enjoy art. I want to do something that's going to make me better. And I think everyone's doing a great job at that, of really improving their skills and analyzing their own pieces a little bit better.
So congratulations, everybody. We're so proud of you for the work that you did. Okay, you guys ready for the November art dare? Because I am. Who here has watched The Walking Dead? Oh my God, Dorian. I have a problem with Rick Grimes. He's behind me as well. He's everywhere. I watch his YouTube videos. Well, not his, but I watch Walking Dead clips during my lunch hour. That's how I keep myself motivated. So this is the November art dare. It is facial hair. So we want you to create a 2D or 3D artwork that has facial hair in some capacity. Oh, ignore this. What the heck? I totally messed up the slide. Ignore the part about designing a word. That's not supposed to be the art dare. It's just facial hair. So Dorian, as somebody who has had multiple versions of facial hair, I need to know, like, how do you make decisions about your facial hair and when to change it?
So I'm trying to get my beard to connect. That's one thing. So usually if I'm like irritated with how it's looking, if it looks patchy like that, I'm like, okay, we're going to shave and hopefully it grows in a little bit more full the next time. But yeah, I think hair in general is a very expressive thing that I've always felt confident whenever it looks good or whenever it looks the way that I want it to. So I usually bleach my hair. I'll shave my hair. I will cut off my mustache. I'll cut off my beard and leave my mustache. I'll cut off my mustache and leave my beard. Like right now, I just shaved off the sides and kept a little goatee and have little dirt on top of my lip, as my mom would say. But yeah, like I think whenever there's opportunities to just have fun with my facial hair, I take advantage of it. And especially if it makes me look better, just a little something. Yeah, it's all about the confidence that it gives. Exactly.
See the confidence. So tell us in the chat, how many of you guys have had fun with your facial hair, or maybe your facial hair is not such a positive experience? It really varies person to person, but there's so many versions of it. And actually my husband right now he's got a mustache with like curls and stuff. I should have put a picture of him in here, but it's so funny because my kids are like obsessed with his mustache. Like they're very proud that people comment on his mustache because it's so dramatic. So I just find it fascinating the way it impacts how somebody feels, because here you're pretty clean shaven, but it seems like you have changed your mind in other situations. Maybe it depends on the look. I don't know.
Yeah, like, and also even certain moments when I'm feeling kind of, I guess you could say, spontaneous, I'm like, I'll just shave it all off. But as long as I feel like my skin's healthy, if I feel like my beard looks good, if I look clean, I don't look too chaotic, because there are days when I'll be in the studio like hours and hours and nights on one another. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to take care of my hair today. Like, it's okay. So there's that part of it. And also,
I never want to take care of my hair.
And with November coming up too, I think it's a really important time because it's No Shave November. And at least that's what we used to do in Pittsburgh. But it's about prostate cancer awareness. So being able to shave your beard at the beginning of November and then go the whole month without shaving again. That's something that I'm actually going to participate in again this year. So yeah, there's like really awesome ways that facial hair can unite people and also just make really cool opportunities.
I never heard about that before. That's brilliant.
So, I mean, look, it's awesome that you actually chose this for the dare, which is like,
oh my gosh, you're right. It's the same button. Oh my gosh. That's so perfect. So we have Manette, who says, one of my favorite people to do portraits of is Terry Pratchett. His eyebrows are incredible. He looks like a great horned owl. Who is Terry Pratchett? Do you know?
I don't know. I'm about to look him up, buddy.
Tell us in the chat if you know who Terry Pratchett is, or maybe Manette, you can explain, and maybe I can quickly get an image into the chat while we take a look at some of the other stuff. So this guy has an
looks like Terry
awesome.
Pratchett.
He's got a great beard, and so another thing. Wait, what? Oh, who is he? Is he? Oh, he's an English author. Oh yeah, he's got his beard is so straight. Like sometimes people have curlier beards. Like I like that. Oh, fantasy author, most famous for the Discworld series. Okay, yeah, thanks Anna as well. All right, let's get back to some of the more exaggerated beards. Now, this is a model that I drew at a life drawing session, and he had an intense beard, and it was even better because he was bald. And so everything about his face was about the beard. And I think some people really are sort of defined by their beard in a way. So I recently did this draw along because a lot of people have been asking me about how to draw facial hair. So tell us in the chat, do you find facial hair challenging to draw or paint? Because it is. It depends on the beard, obviously. But so, this is Rick Grimes.
I still struggle with it.
So what do you think is difficult about drawing facial hair?
I think the biggest thing that I currently struggle with and always have is determining strands and like the line weight for the actual hair follicle, or not follicles, but the hair. And then also matching the lighting with it, because I think that comes down to being good with erasing and knowing what to erase, but also having the right marks there to erase to begin with.
It's just so much because it's sort of like the mass of the beard, but then you see individual hairs and then there's the lighting and stuff like that. So it is really challenging. And of course, I think a lot of us know about Salvador Dali's mustache and all of the various formations that it took. But I also want to point out Frida Kahlo, because I think oftentimes women are not expected to have any facial hair at all. But she always painted her facial hair under her nose. And I just always found that just so honest, because sometimes people are so quick to want to just not show certain things. And I just think this is so great that she did that.
Inspiration for sure. Like her piece, yeah, just insane.
And then I love these guys. These are paintings from the Tokyo National Museum. It's like, whoa, what is going on here? He has like a triangle beard.
On both sides, too. It's like here, and there, all separate. Yeah. How does that work?
I don't know. But like he's got facial hair in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots. I was like, dude, that's a lot of very careful grooming. Okay, this wins out of all the facial hair we've seen today. This is from the Honolulu Museum of Art, and it's actually part of this magnificent display of all these masks that are put together. So what do you think of our little friend here?
Oh, needs a comb. But I think it's really interesting that like you see a lot of people try and do a lot of things for wigs and facial hair and whatnot, but not using the real material. And I think the conversation that we had before, you mentioned that they use a lot of real materials and real like hair. So you can tell like it makes a difference, especially in this piece.
It's real teeth too, by the way. It's amazing mask. Yeah, so all of these are really created with native elements. So in Hawaii, you'll see a lot of pieces with shells. I also saw a piece that was made out of molted lobster shells. All the hair in all of these is real hair. And this one, I think this one looks like a really crummy Halloween mask. And then how about this one?
This looks like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson if he were turned into a mask. Like has like the wink and like a little eyebrow.
Yeah.
Like the old school.
It's his predecessor from centuries ago. So Anna says, I don't draw or paint a lot of men, so it's been a long time since I painted facial hair, and explains the last time was a portrait of my father and his grandkids I did for his 75th birthday. That was about 4 years ago. Well, tell us in the chat, how many of you guys have done portraits with facial hair, and how many of you have not wanted to do it because it's really, really difficult to do? And it doesn't even have to be a real beard. What do you think of this?
Honestly, this feels like AI art before AI art existed.
Oh gosh. But so this is obviously not real hair. It's a guy made out of produce and stuff, but I thought it was a really good way to tackle it. So you guys can interpret this any way you want. It doesn't have to be, oh, I need to draw a realistic beard. There's all different kinds of ways that you guys can interpret this. So we do have a bunch of videos. This is one where I did these very quick gesture drawings of the same model. I always thought he looked like a Greek philosopher, but these are very quick. And so you can see they don't have to be that well articulated or detailed, because sometimes with drawing, you don't have to draw everything. You can just summarize, right?
You get the fine details later, but if you get everything that's essential first, then you have the world as your oyster with the rest of your piece.
So if you guys want to do something more substantial, the Art Dare Leap is an opportunity to do a little bit more. Now, the Art Dare Leap is not required. All you need to do is just one artwork to actually enter. But if you do want to do the Art Dare Leap, we are asking you to create an artwork with 3 types of facial hair. However you guys want to interpret that is just great with us. So remember, in the Discord, we do have an Art Dares channel, and this is super fun because you get to watch everybody's progress during the month. You get to share ideas and see works in progress. And so I encourage you guys to do this, because that's the best thing, is when we're all doing the same thing and we have that wonderful interaction. Remember, everybody, we are no longer accepting submissions by Instagram, but we do love to share your work. So tag us, make an Instagram story where you tag us. We really like to show off our community. Also, on artprof.org, if you want to submit, we do have a Google form. So you're going to want to go to Art Dares, scroll down on the Art Dare page, and then you do see we have a Google form. So for those of you guys who want to do that, and by the way, I forgot to mention, you can also submit in the Art Dares channel. So if you just go to the pinned messages, you will see all the instructions for how to do that. So Google form or the Discord are the 2 ways for you guys to submit. By the way, join Dorian and I. We will be in the Discord right after this stream. Meet us in the post live streams channel for more chat about, well, you talked about Michael Jackson, so I get to talk about Hugh Jackman. So there we go. Remember, everybody, we have openings in our November and December workshops. So we have color mixing, expressive portraits, and remember, these workshops are 2 weeks long. In addition to that, you have a 3-hour live session. We have composition and thumbnails, oil sticks and oil pastel, and coming up pretty soon is our pencil and graphite workshop. So you get to work with me in a small group of artists. Art Prof has a podcast. It's available on Spotify and also on iTunes. And Buddy would like for you to join our global art community. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.